The Council of Aetherion. Thunder rolled across the skies above Aetherion. The great hall was heavy with tension. Every corner hummed with the low murmur of anxious voices. Around the long stone table sat the king's most trusted advisors, generals, scholars, and the high mages, their faces grim. At the head of the table stood King Aetherion, his golden crown dim beneath the flickering torchlight. Beside him, his hand resting lightly on the hilt of his sword, stood Nyx, still wearing his travel-worn cloak. The messenger's words echoed in everyone's mind. The Silver Clan has allied with Hades. "Are we certain of this?" demanded General Rotter, slamming a gauntlet against the table. "It could be a lie to cause panic." Nyx shook his head. "The soldier's wounds were real. He barely made it through our gates alive." King Aetherion raised a hand, silencing the murmurs. "We'll not act on panic alone. Nyx is right. We need proof. If the Silver Clan bows to Hades, we'll know soon enough." He turned toward his captain of spies. "Send your best. No mistakes. We must confirm this before the realm descends into fear." The captain nodded and left swiftly. When the hall emptied, the king lingered near the fire. "Nyx, if this alliance is true, then the world is on the edge of ruin. Hades does not make allies, only servants." Nyx met his gaze, his eyes burning with quiet determination. "Then I'll make sure we don't become one of them." The king gave a slow nod. "Prepare yourself. I fear you'll need more than mortal strength soon." Hours later, the castle had grown silent. Sophia and baby Perseus slept soundly, unaware of the storm brewing beyond their dreams. Nyx stood at the castle gates, the night wind tugging at his cloak. He needed clarity. He needed to think. Without a word, he mounted his horse and rode through the sleeping city, past the outer walls, until the lantern lights faded behind him. The forest whispered as he passed through, until at last he reached a quiet lake beneath the silver light of the moon. He knelt to drink, and then froze. The surface of the water rippled, though there was no wind. His reflection twisted, and suddenly his mind was consumed by light. He saw 5 colossal shapes, ancient and divine, dragons rising from the void. The first burned in crimson fire, its scales glowing like molten steel. The second shimmered in frozen blue, wings scattering shards of ice. The third howled like a storm, wind curling around its sleek, emerald body. The fourth was cloaked in shadow, eyes like 2 dying stars. And the fifth shone in radiant white light, so bright that even darkness seemed to bow before it. Nyx stumbled backward, clutching his head as their roars echoed within his very soul. Fire, ice, wind, dark, light. Then silence. When he opened his eyes, an old man stood across the water. His staff glowed faintly at the tip, and his cloak shimmered like the night sky itself. "Son of Perseus," the old man said, voice deep as thunder, calm as rain, "your blood carries the strength of heroes, yet your heart is untested." Nyx steadied himself, his hand instinctively reaching for his blade. "Who are you?" The old man smiled faintly. "A guardian of the 5. The dragons you saw, they were once the protectors of balance. But long ago, men's greed and the gods' pride sealed them away. Their power sleeps now, waiting for one worthy to command it." He stepped closer, his staff striking the earth once. The ground pulsed faintly with ancient energy. "You will need their strength, child of Perseus," the old man said. The darkness you face is not one of men, but of gods. If Hades walks again, only the power of the five can stand against him. Nyx frowned. Then tell me what I must do. The old man's eyes gleamed. Return here before sunset tomorrow. Come alone. The dragons do not answer to the weak. You will face 5 trials, 1 for each element. If you fail, your soul will be scattered across eternity. Before Nyx could speak, a gust of wind swept through the clearing, and the old man vanished into mist, his final words echoing faintly. Prove yourself, son of Perseus, or perish forgotten. The following morning, Nyx stood once again before King Arthon. His eyes told the story before his lips could. You saw something, the king said quietly. Nyx nodded. An old man. He spoke of dragons, of power sealed long ago. He said it could help us defeat Hades. The king's brow furrowed. Dragons? That's a myth, ancient superstition. Many have chased such legends and never returned. I know, Nyx replied, his tone firm. But something about him felt real. His power, it wasn't of this world. The king leaned back, rubbing his temples. Perhaps it's a trick. Hades may be luring you away, to strike while our kingdom stands leaderless. Nyx stepped closer. If there's even a chance this is real, I can't ignore it. The fate of everyone I love may depend on it. Arthon studied him for a long moment. Finally he sighed. Then do what you must, Nyx. But be wary. If this truly comes from the gods, it will test not just your strength, but your soul. Before departing, Nyx returned to his chambers. Sophia sat by the cradle, their baby boy asleep under soft blankets. Morning light streamed through the window, golden and calm, the kind of peace that made leaving harder. She looked up the moment he entered. You're going, aren't you? He nodded silently. Tears welled in her eyes. Nyx, you just became a father. Don't let these visions take you away from us. Nyx knelt beside her, placing his hand gently over hers. Sophia, if there's even a chance this power exists, if it can protect you, our son, and this kingdom, I have to take it. She shook her head, her voice trembling. You don't even know if it's real. He smiled faintly. Then I'll find out. Sophia leaned forward, pressing her forehead against his. Promise me you'll come back. I promise, he whispered, kissing her gently. No matter what happens, I'll return to you. She held him tightly for one last moment, then let him go, tears falling silently as he walked out the door. By noon, the sky had darkened again. Clouds rolled in, heavy and foreboding. As if the heavens themselves watched what was to come, Nyx rode hard through the forest, following the same trail as before. When he reached the lake, the air was still, eerily silent. The old man was already there, standing at the water's edge, staff in hand. You came, he said, his voice echoing like it spoke from another realm. Good. Many heroes seek glory, but few obey the call of destiny. I'm ready, Nyx said firmly. The old man's lips curved into a knowing smile. We shall see. He raised his staff high, and the ground beneath them began to glow, ancient runes circling outward like ripples in time. The water rose in spiraling columns of light, wrapping around them like a cocoon. Nyx felt his body lift from the earth. The wind howled, and the old man's voice thundered above it all. 5 dragons await. 5 trials to prove your worth. Courage, wisdom, will, balance, and heart. Fail one, and you will fall. The light grew blinding. In a heartbeat, the world dissolved. And when Nyx opened his eyes again, he was standing on an unfamiliar land. The sky burned red above him. Rivers of fire flowed through obsidian valleys. The first trial awaited. The trial of the fire dragon had begun.